Hey guys, welcome back to game 2 between LucifroN and AiCytoplasm. This is of course GSL Antigua Shipyard from the Msi Pro Cup 12 tournament, and the previous game pretty much did go down to LucifroN in that game. Anyways, let's take a look at the location on the bottom right of this map. We do have LucifroN as the green Terran player, and on the top left we do have AiCytoplasm as the purple Zerg player. That previous game pretty much did go down to LucifroN. He did sort of pick off that strategy from a previous MSI tournament that was held there, and it was pretty interesting to see how LucifroN did sort of slightly change that later on strategy with that build that he did pick off, and it was a very nice gameplay by LucifroN. Really hands up to him, as he did manage to you can say implement it without any issues at all, and really nice. I hope it's not cross-stride. I hope so. Okay. Good luck, have fun, good luck, have fun. Okay, so the game pretty much is on the go. And we do have that overload coming down, another overload going to the top right and one to the bottom right. The development, really nothing happening. This is really still at the beginning game. Anyways, let me talk about my channel before they actually do get to do anything useful or become more active in this game. So far I have been releasing Cities XL 2012 tutorials slowly, including with my gameplays, as I haven't found anybody on the internet being able to do that. So I am going to be explaining that game pretty much into detail. So if you guys are into building cities and stuff and you actually know about Cities XL, I would suggest you take a look at either the playlist that I have or at some of the tutorials that I have coming up. It should pretty much explain everything that you need to know in terms of that. And my Time Warp application on the Android store has been a little bit upgraded, so if you guys are using that and you have a root in Android, so have fun with that as well. Anyways, let's get back to the game. We do have finally both players putting down those double bases. We do have the command center here and that second hatchery here. So far we do have, I do believe, AiCytoplasm just a little bit ahead in terms of that second hatchery in comparison to the base itself. We do have again that barracks, secondary barracks as well. So it seems LucifroN really did like that strategy. Again, he might be implementing the same strategy as he did last time, so we should have maybe those double barracks followed by that single factory and more racks in play, which of course would lead before that to double Vespene gas expansions as well. So really interesting to see if he's going to be playing it the same way as he played it before. It turned out pretty well for AiCytoplasm. So I mean, for LucifroN in the previous game. Let's see, spawning pool finally up after that hatchery. Again, queens. AiCytoplasm is again sticking mainly to his previous build as always. We're going to have queens mainly in play for AiCytoplasm, maybe 3-4 queens, and probably a third hatchery as well. He's just mainly interested in getting his economy up. I don't really see him changing his strategy much, but if he isn't going to change strategy much, and from the looks of it, LucifroN is really going for the similar strategy as, yes, we do have those double refineries. I do believe it's a copy of the previous game. LucifroN is really sticking to a strategy that worked before. You know, why not? It worked. It really did devastate AiCytoplasm. Why not let it work for him again? So let's see if it works out for him. So far it's doing pretty good. Those double gas should come online. We should have those upgrades, of course, for those Marauders to produce, and of course to get those Hellions in production as well. But let's see exactly what he's going to do. He might switch it around. He might do something a little bit different, but we shall see. Anyways, back to the game. We do have more overlords moving down. Still not being able to scout, though. He did finally manage to scout out that base. As you can see, he did retreat. He just scouted out that secondary base. Not that primary, actually. He didn't even scout out that secondary. I don't know why he didn't move down with that overlord, as I don't know why AiCytoplasm didn't scout out that secondary base, as so far he's concerned he is just on that one base push. So sorry, I've been up for quite a long time, and he's not really even bothering to scan for that third base. He might just consider that he's going for that. He already has that second base, and we do have that third hatchery down as well. More overloads streaming across the map, nothing really happening. More drones, more creeps, and more overloads and more drones. That's all that is to it for AiCytoplasm. He's just getting his economy up and running. He's not even focused on getting anything else. And finally that wall off, as LucifroN's previous game, I assume he's going to be supply depoting the whole section here as he did previously. So interesting to see if he's going to be doing the same thing. Finally, Stim Research Online, double Hellions, and we do have that reactor. So he's going to be more aggressive now, as LucifroN is finally building up his structures to provide him that really nice army and a supply of fresh new units, including the bio and max. So again, we do have that scout out, that double Hellion scout out like he did previously. Is going to be there just to prod and poke and see exactly what's happening, what's new in AiCytoplasm's Zerg little land, and see exactly what he has up in terms of defense. Generally, AiCytoplasm has really nothing. He is going for that 1/1 upgrade, double spine collars, so he did place that down due to the Hellions again, I presume, and he probably placed the spine collars down, yes, at the front forward base. He wants to prevent any rushes towards his primary and secondary base, so very smart move. It's really a copy of the previous game so far. I don't really see anything changing, but if it is, it doesn't really look up for AiCytoplasm, as LucifroN pretty much has the strategy to deal with this build from AiCytoplasm, so that's pretty much it. Of course, Queen's being moved in to push those Hellions back, Metabolic Boost coming online, and a Bailing Nest as well, so we should have those Bailings and Zerglings and more Spine Collars. You should move those Spine Collars a little more forward. Yes, now he did move 4 of them, so finally this might actually hold off the push, but really depends on the bio push. Stim Research online, we do have that Weapons 1 again available, and more Hellions, and here finally comes that push. So again, I don't believe this is going to look up for AiCytoplasm. AiCytoplasm really doesn't have an economy yet. He is pretty much dealing with just droning up. We do finally have that, I thought that was Spire, but it's not. We do have Zerglings come in, and we do have, that's it, Zerglings. He's just 4 Zerglings. He's not even morphing in any Bailings yet, so that Bailing List should have been completed though by now. He should really morph in Bailings as soon as possible, as it does take a little bit of time, and too late. He's morphing him now as he sees the push, but that's a little bit too late. These spine collars are pretty much going to drop. Stimmed up units are going to really tear through the spine collars, and Queens, of course, being moved to the front line to absorb the damage. Another Queen drops, second Queen drops, Zerglings moving forward. LucifroN decides to cut the losses, moves back, move the Hellions forward to sort of absorb and really fry those Zerglings and Bailings and really take that damage again. He's going to be flanking him, and he's moving down, of course. AiCytoplasm sees that, and he's going to be moving forward, and a scan drops down. Zerglings are going to try to make us around, and LucifroN knows, and he's going to be clumping them up into a nice ball and pretty much mops up the rest of the Zerglings, forcing AiCytoplasm to retreat, and he is still going to be flanking that out. And very nice play, as there are no spine collars there, and he's going to be pushing forward, and this base might actually even drop. He's finally going to be moving those Zerglings from behind again, following down LucifroN. LucifroN should pretty much counter this. Stimmed up units should really mop this up, especially with those Hellions backed up. Here come those Bailings. They should bust and will sort of suppress this attack, and that's pretty much it. Zerglings surrounded the remnants of the Marines, and he is going to be moving out, but I don't believe this will do much good, as LucifroN really has a very sturdy economy and a very sturdy production line so far coming online. We do have 1 tank, and again those that starport coming on. Do we have the double starport? No armory, so we should have those level 2 upgrades, and yes, we do have those level 2 upgrades coming online pretty soon. He just lifted up that command center. There's nothing really here he can do, so that's pretty much it. He's not even going to be bothered to move down. He's going to make a Bailing bust, but he doesn't have those units to sustain that, so it's really pretty much a loss of resources for AiCytoplasm's side. Unfortunately, he can't counterattack with a proper push. He just doesn't have those units, and he probably is going to retreat. He really can't do anything about it. And we do have, of course, that Overlord throwing down that Crete just to make his life a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to be retreating now, and those Zerglings and Bailings are going to be moving up to mop up the rest of those units. Will they be able to move down? Yes, they should pretty much. We do have finally a siege tank on the high ground, I mean on the low ground. So very nice play, and yes, it is on the high ground. I was a little bit confused exactly where that was. It did look like it was on the low ground. Bailings are going to retreat to very nice target fire. Stimmed up Marines are pretty much going to catch up with those Bailings. 1 Bailing, sacrificial Bailing to try to save the remnants of the 3 Zerglings. Of course, streaming down Marines know that, so they're going to be moving pretty much back. He knows he's going to lose that, and we do have those 2/2 upgrades for AiCytoplasm. AiCytoplasm finally switching in to those Mutalisks, so that Spire did complete, and he's going to be coming in with that air, and that air is going to prove pretty devastating for LucifroN. We don't have any anti-air anywhere on the map. LucifroN doesn't believe that he's going to be pushing out with that anti-air, so those 13-14 Mutalisks are going to prove pretty deadly and a very good strategic advantage. Really, if AiCytoplasm can take that advantage and that surprise to the maximum advantage, and if he can charge down with all those Mutalisks at a specific base and target fire, 1 base production line, especially the main base production line, it would prove pretty devastating. But if he's going to be moving down with those Mutalisks with that Zerg ball at the same time and make that initial forward move, it's going to give away. And here comes the push finally with those Mutalisks. Really nice push, finally, very nice play. He should really take this out as quickly as possible before any reinforcements come. That's it. The engineering bay is going to be repaired. Marines and SCVs are being pulled off the line. I mean, SCVs are being pulled off the line to deal with that. Of course, a couple of medevacs coming down to start healing, and a very aggressive push by AiCytoplasm. Very nice. Unfortunately, he should be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more micro, but unfortunately he did lose this surprise by those Mutalisks, and LucifroN did send up a nice little ball of Marines to deal with that as well. And finally we should see those towers coming online. Those towers should pretty much start spreading around the map itself. We do have 3 towers, as you see immediately. Attack level 1 for AiCytoplasm, so he is going to be sticking with that air push, and another ball of Marines is going to push back that nice little ball of Mutalisks. So far the center of the map is really being hoarded up with a lot of Zerglings and Balings, so he's not really switching into anything else. Zerglings, Balings with Mutalisks, so that's pretty much it for AiCytoplasm. And we do have that infestation pit, so we should have a couple of more infestors online, and really LucifroN needs to do something about this, because he can't really hold up anymore. Finally that tower coming online, so that should deter those Mutalisks from moving forward. Here comes that push. Siege tanks, of course, providing cover fire surround. Zerglings are trying to move in, but very nice spread by those Marines, preventing as little damage as possible. Bailing bus trying to go for that tank. The tank did survive, and the secondary tank did drop, so he did lose around 3 tanks in total, but so far pretty good. We do have those level 3 and armor level 2 coming online for AiCytoplasm. AiCytoplasm realizing he really needs to push out to prevent the Zerg player from making these aggressive attacks. If he doesn't do a little bit of damage, this is not going to stop, as AiCytoplasm is getting his economy up as that Zerg player requires. That 4 base, what the hell? That 4 base build by the Zerg is pretty much the optimum required. Any base additional by that 4 base build up by any Zerg player is pretty much what's required to provide a continuous and a very aggressive push by that Zerg player. So the LucifroN pretty much just dropping down those cans and taking out as much as possible. Those siege tanks from the high ground are providing a little bit of splash damage, and those Mutalisks should try to take those tanks out. 2 tanks drop. Unfortunately they do retreat, and very little damage for those Mutalisks, and they're going to be flanking these tanks again. So a very nice micro by AiCytoplasm. He's going to be taking out those tanks, and we do have finally a push. Zerglings will surround those Marines, and a Bailing Bust will prevent those Marines from doing anything much, and the remnants of the tanks should be able to drop. And that's pretty much it for LucifroN. He's going to be retreating a bit, but he does have a little bit of a backline placed here again with 2 siege tanks, and that forces AiCytoplasm to retreat back to his base. So this is really a tug of war, you know, pushing forward and back between both the players. Finally LucifroN has the high ground again, so will he be able to do any damage, or will AiCytoplasm out micro him by those Mutalisks and take them out again by flanking them? So are we gonna have a split? No. Yes, he's going to be moving that Zerg ball down, but there's not really much he can do. He doesn't know that there is already a 4th base as well for LucifroN, so he is a little bit, AiCytoplasm is mainly focused on being able to do something in terms of losing that 4th base, but too late that base dropped, and he's going to be taking care of that destructible debris, so he can provide a continuous support and supply for that 4th base, which was the 5th base a while ago. But he's going to be moving down. Infestors coming online as well. Those level 3, both level 3 upgrades and armor for AiCytoplasm is online, and another scan drops down, and he should pretty much mop up this queen that was sacrificing to save as many of those drones as possible. Another hatchery is going to drop. All those resources are going to be dropped. It is very, very unfortunate. Unfortunately as well, this is going to be a very, very heavy damage location for AiCytoplasm. Is going to be mopping this up. Those Bailings are going to pretty much take out every single SCV. That planetary is going to drop very quickly, and that is finally a base trade, a 1-to-1 base trade. I do believe more resources were lost by LucifroN here, as AiCytoplasm really didn't have much of resources lost there. He did take out a very, very well built base, if not fully saturated 4th base. Unfortunately, LucifroN just managed to take out just the hatchery itself. So resources wise, we can take a look at it. AiCytoplasm, of course, is a little bit behind, but a very nice fungal by those infestors, and those Marines should pretty much drop, as those Zerglings will drop. Infested Terrans are going to drop as well. The tanks should pretty much mop that up with that siege mode activated, so those infestors don't even pop. They are dropped right on site, and a nice little surround by the Zerglings, and they will try to take out those Marines, but he needs more bio if he's going to push out. Here comes finally that flanked small little bio ball, more bio moving across the map. So AiCytoplasm calls it a good game, and he doesn't even want to bother continuing. He realizes he just can't cope with the actual continuous push by LucifroN. If we look at LucifroN's base, he is really going off. Again, we do have 5 barracks, that single factory, and that factory is just producing tanks so far. No, double factory 5, 6, 7, 8 barracks. 8 barracks and double factories in comparison to AiCytoplasm's base, which is really not producing much. He's really going off just those 3 bases so far, even though he has that macro hatchery there. But that's about it for game 2. Of course, the game does go down to LucifroN. Very nice play and very nice, you can say, strategy borrowing by LucifroN, and it did pay out for using that same strategy that was played before. Happy gaming, and see you guys next time.